Hi, I'm Shannon, and this is the Miles to Zen podcast, where we get to wonder out loud and see what shows up. Today's episode is Enthusiasm as a Divine Spark, Trusting Your Creative Energy. And I'm so glad you are along for the ride. This is the 5th episode of the Creative Soul series. And this is also a grouped playlist if anyone is listening on YouTube. And last week, we talked about doing it scared and saying yes to the life that calls you, even when fear is loud. But what happens right after that moment of courage? Excitement bubbles up, then doubt creeps in, and that's what we're exploring today. We have gone on a journey with this series, reminding ourselves about our creativity, creating a safe space, getting curious, finding your courage. And today is all about trusting that enthusiasm, that excitement when it bubbles up. So there was some divine timing recently, and I just had a coffee with a girlfriend who was bursting with a brilliant idea. But before she even got the idea out, she was in full self-sabotage mode. And I realized this is what many of us do when we get a new idea. That little voice comes up in our head and says, "Who are you to do this? What happens if you fail? You can't possibly do this. Wow, it's expensive. Where will you ever come up with the money? Now I have sponsors. I can't let them down." And, it's funny because we're having this conversation and it's just an idea. There are no sponsors. There's nothing yet. It's just an idea. And we start talking ourselves out of our good, exciting ideas before they're even formed. So, of course, I told her to go listen to the last 2 podcasts in the series right now. Well, immediately after we finished coffee, The Queen of Curiosity, Creating the Life That You Love, and Doing It Scared, Creating a Life That Calls You. So if you listen to those, you know that you just need to start. You have to start before the naysayers and that voice in your head gets too strong. So I ran through this exercise with this friend and want to do it with you here today as well. Now, close your eyes if that helps you, unless, of course, you're driving or walking, and think of your exciting idea. Just pick an idea, any idea that's exciting to you, whether it's big or small, and really sink into this exciting idea. Take a few breaths, feel it in your body, feel what it feels like when you have successfully brought this idea to life. What does it feel like when you've climbed to the top of that mountain, when you're crossing the finish line of that race, when you're standing on a podium, when you've published that story, when you gave a presentation and everyone loved it? Feel what it's like to celebrate your idea coming to fruition. Really feel it, like hear it, experience it, live it, just soak up that amazing feeling in your body. You got that? Okay, now let's do the opposite. Let's say, "Oh, actually, yeah, sure. That's a brilliant idea, but I could never do that. I can't. It's too big. There's too many obstacles. What would people think if I failed? I don't want to waste anyone's time or money. I'm actually not good enough, worthy enough to make this idea happen." Now, how does that feel in your body? I bet it feels like complete crap. Now, our body is such a clear indicator of if something is right for us to do or not. And notice when we are doubting our enoughness, how our body constricts, how we start to hunch, how our breathing becomes more shallow, how we feel heavy, just heavy in our body. Now, contrast that with your brilliant idea and doing it. How does that feel? You feel freaking amazing. You may feel scared, but you feel awesome. You know what you feel like. You feel alive. And isn't that what we came to do this time round? And you know what? When you do that thing that you're scared of, and maybe, just maybe, you succeed, what happens next? What happens after that? Well, I could tell you that you lay the foundation of more things like that to happen in your life. But let's just shake out that feeling from before of not doing it or feeling scared. 'Cause I don't know about you, but I still feel it. So just shake it out and just brush it off your body. Let's go back to what happens after you have those feelings that you can do it or that you do the thing. There's some things that happen immediately in your outside environment. You give everyone a boost of your contagious excitement. Really, it's an act of service to follow your excitement. You bring a sparkle everywhere you go, and you immediately empower everyone in your circle and on the edges of your circle to have the courage to explore showing up in a bigger way in their own lives. You let younger people, whether it's your kids, your family, neighbors in your life, know that you can get older. You go into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, and still dream of doing the things and do them. The mundane aspects of your life, or the life admin, as I like to call it, are not so mundane because you are living what you are truly meant to do here on this earth. And even as Gay Hendricks talks about, you are living in your zone of genius. And did you know that the word enthusiasm is actually made from the Greek word enthusiasmos? Sorry, I probably made a mess of that word, but it means divine inspiration. And in ancient Greece, this word was often used to describe someone in a state of ecstatic inspiration, like a poet, a prophet, or an oracle believed to be channeling divine energy. Socrates even taught that poetic inspiration was a form of enthusiasmos. So, yes, enthusiasm literally means having God within, meaning for us mere mortals, doing what we are excited about is what our souls are supposed to do in this short little speck of time we have on this little planet in the middle of our vast, vast universe. I had a call probably a year and a bit ago trying to decide if I was going to do a podcast course or some coaching, and I didn't really know at the time. And it was with Jen, who's a fabulous coach, by the way. And she asked me, what does your dream day look like? Now, at the time, I was working full time, a job that I didn't leave at work. I was selling my parents' farm an hour away from where I lived, going there and back, looking after my parents' needs, looking after my family. And the last thing on my list was looking after me. My dream day at that time was calm, balance, stress-free. I said that I wanted to get up in the morning, have a coffee, do some writing, go do some exercise, go spend time in nature or at the beach or in the forest, come back, work on some creative projects, have time to make some food for my family and not be rushed, have time to give to my family, and not have any of their stress that they may bring home from work or school become my stress. And one more thing on my to-do list because I now had space, not an earth-shattering dream day, but a perfect day compared to what I was living. Time to return to myself. That was my dream day. And well, you know what? Today, I'm living my dream day every day, practically every day. And it's awesome. And I've created the life that called me from that time. And sure, there are bumps, and sure, not every day is a dream day, but most are. And now I'm ready for what's next. And it's all good and it's all unfolding. And it's because I said yes to the things that I was getting enthusiastic about and deeply wanted to create a space to live a full and contented life. And also maybe just tell my cortisol levels that they can take it easy. We're good. So one of the things I've been exploring recently, because I feel that when you start to really listen to your intuition and how you feel and how you want to show up in your life, more possibilities can present themselves. And you will see the areas where you are stuck, or more so, just not really in flow. So, as an exercise this week, why don't you think of your dream day and write it down? Nothing is too big or too small. Just write it down what it really feels like. Really close your eyes and get into the feeling. That is where the magic happens, my friends. So I would love to hear some of the comments about your dream days and what are in your dream days, because that even inspires other people just to hear about other people's ideas. If this episode sparked something within you, please share it with a friend. And don't forget to like and subscribe or follow. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and see you next week.